Now let's lay out a horizontal diagonal brace assembly. You will need a tape measure, 4 stobs, and a hammer. Measure 8 foot along one side from your corner and drive a stob in the ground. Then measuring out to the 16 foot on the same side, drive a second stob. Duplicate these measurements and markings on the other side of the corner. Now, let's complete this horizontal diagonal brace assembly. Here are the tools you'll need: a tape measure, a drill with a 3/8 inch wood auger bit at least 8 inches in length, hacksaw or sawzall, and a hammer. You'll also need 3 10-inch brace pins and additional posts for your horizontal and diagonal braces. Note: when placing the horizontal post, the goal is to have this horizontal brace upon completion hidden behind your top rail, which will give the fence a smooth, aesthetically pleasing appearance. To determine this placement, review your overall rail spacing. For example, top rail height may be 54 inches from the ground. If that's your choice, subtract 2.5 inches from that measurement, which would be 51.5 inches, which then determines your drilling point on the vertical post. That will put your horizontal brace post in the proper position behind your top rail. At this point, drill a hole 2.5 inches deep into the corner vertical post. On your secondary brace post, use the same 51.5 inch measurement, only this time you want to drill the hole all the way through the post. Hammer the brace pin into the end or corner post. The end or corner post only requires 5 inches of the 10-inch brace pin. Using a tape measure, mark the 5 inches on the brace pin. Using a hacksaw or sawzall, cut on the 5-inch mark. There will now be 2.5 inches of exposed brace pin. Now, measure the distance between the end post and the secondary brace post, adding a 1/2 inch to this measurement. Using that measurement, mark the horizontal post and then cut it to length if needed. Then, drill a hole in the larger end of the post, centering your hole. Drill to a depth of 2.5 inches. With the horizontal brace post, align the hole in the other end of the post with the 2.5 inches of exposed brace pin. Insert the post onto the pin. Note, you may need to hammer the other end of the horizontal post in order to get the post to seat on the pin. Lift up the horizontal post to form a brace between the two posts. With help from your assistant, step back and eyeball the horizontal post for final placement. Next, hammer the 10-inch brace pin into the horizontal post, leaving 2.5 inches exposed. Now, cut your diagonal post at a 45-degree angle. Drill a hole in the end of the diagonal post. Drill to a depth of 2.5 inches. Align the hole in the end of the post with the 2.5 inches of exposed brace pin. Insert the post onto the pin. Position the base of your post next to the secondary brace post and mark, then cut to fit. Slide diagonal posts into place. Note, this should be a tight fit. Now, drill a hole at the base of the secondary brace post and finish by driving a 10-inch brace pin. Now we have completed a sturdy horizontal diagonal brace assembly. If you're using a horizontal diagonal brace assembly in a 90-degree corner, repeat the steps you've just watched.